Yesterday was a nasty day for markets. Trump took office, and in his first day, he signed 42 executive orders, memoranda, proclamations, 115 personal actions, and over 200 executive actions. He did a 60 minutes press conference and had 3 speeches. However, apparently, he has yet to sign any executive orders surrounding crypto or a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And all the while, we saw some wild swings in the markets. Markets rallied really hard off the lows in the morning from $99,000, 500 in Bitcoin all the way up into $109,000 for a new local high, then dumped right back down to $100,000. Now, this type of price action is not typical. This volatility echoes of market manipulation. In other words, this type of price action seems to be from the big boys and the institutions who used the inauguration as an opportunity to take advantage of retail markets. And in that last 24 hours, 137,000 traders or retail investors were liquidated for a total of $300 million. And these guys did this because they know what comes next, but are you prepared? So we'll be covering the latest news surrounding Trump and his war on the machine in Washington. We'll be covering a bombshell interview where the head of digital assets over at BlackRock shares some key revelations about what's to come for crypto and how this could have played a role in the recent volatility. We'll be sharing an article on why players like BlackRock and major market makers could be behind the recent whiplash in the markets and how their data is leading them to essentially want to steal your crypto from you and fill their coffers with it. And finally, I did some number crunching on what happens for crypto virtually every single time after a presidential inauguration, and what I found will shock you. So let's get into the video, and as always, if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777, and if you're gonna be the wealthiest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Paul, and you can find me on Twitter or X at PauliDeFi, PauliDeFi. Now, in the first 24 hours of being in office, Trump has wasted literally no time. We have Elon Musk basically making a comment on one of Trump's executive actions. The fact that he's ordering a mandate for federal workers to show up in person for work. And I think this is totally great. A lot of people are apparently quiet quitting. But at the end of the day, imagine the taxpayers are footing the bill on a lot of lazy government employees. And arguably, and if you are a government employee, thank you for serving the American people, but there are far too many people that take advantage of the American people by collecting a paycheck and doing virtually nothing, and it's very difficult to fire them. So Elon Musk even posted, pretending to work while taking money from the taxpayers is no longer acceptable. Now, what we have yet to see is that there are current rumors, however, it has not happened yet, the fact that Trump is set to sign executive orders impacting crypto today. And so I really do happen to believe he's going to sign executive orders surrounding crypto, but whether that came today, tomorrow, or this week doesn't really matter because ultimately he is very pro crypto. We've seen it with the launch of his token or meme coin. We've seen it with him consistently sharing that he wants to be the most pro crypto president in US history, and it's extremely likely we're going to get a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now, that said, there have been a lot of rumors online and on X talking about how he's going to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve, how he's going to make crypto a national priority. Already, he has a crypto advisory council of industry insiders. And the most exciting thing, in my opinion, is the fact that they are likely going to be pausing all crypto litigation, and that would obviously include the appeal process and the SEC lawsuit with the SEC and XRP or Ripple. Things are looking good for the entire crypto space, folks, and we have a lot of major banks and institutional players and even money processing companies that are really diving in head first now under a Trump administration. And just this year, I believe companies and banks are going to double down in the field of crypto. Already this year, we had an article from Forbes stating that JP Morgan, Citi, US Bank, and Wells Fargo are among the banks that will test a common settlement of tokenized assets on a shared ledger technology called the Regulated Settlement Network, with payment giants like Visa and MasterCard and even Swift, the global financial messaging service, is involved here. This is insane news. And so you have to understand just how big this is, considering MasterCard and Visa process upwards of 80% of all of the transactions in the entire US market. And so we're talking to the tune of quadrillions of dollars of money that flow back and forth consistently, year in, year out. And that also includes Swift. However, MasterCard launched something called the Crypto Credential. It will provide a common standard and infrastructure for verifying interactions between consumers and businesses on blockchain networks. Then you have Visa doubling down and developing a programmatic financial platform. And this platform will use existing financial processes, so things that they already have built and developed that work well, and assets allowing farmers to tokenize traditional contracts and then make them tradable as NFTs. So crypto technology and arguably patents are not new business for Visa and MasterCard. And I believe under a Trump administration, virtually all of the key players, all of the major banks, the Visas and the MasterCards of the world, are going to double down on crypto. However, I will state the fact that players like Visa and MasterCard are truly monopolies, considering they hold 80% of the market share. And so back in 2005, there was a litigation initiated by merchants who claimed that Visa and MasterCard, along with several other banks, colluded to set fees and rules for credit card transactions that were anti-competitive and violated antitrust laws. In other words, these were monopolies. After almost a 20-year litigation, Visa and MasterCard lost, and there was a $5.54 billion lawsuit settlement because they were imposing unfair fees on merchants. In other words, small business owners, people like me and you, if you've ever been in business between the years of 2004 to 2019, even if that business is bankrupt and you accepted a Visa or a MasterCard, then they imposed unfair fees on you, and you could get back up to 1 to 1.5% of everything that you processed. Now, here's the reality. The deadline is on February 4th to claim or file a claim. And here's the thing with this lawsuit. It's not like you're just going to get a check in the mail for an antitrust class action lawsuit. You actually have to file a claim according to the court documents and how they were ordered to deal with it. Now, here's the reality. Even if you were in business during those years, but again, you're currently bankrupt on that business and you did accept, then all it would require is for you to fill out a very short form. And when you click on the link down in the description below, a Visa or MasterCard claim, all you have to do is enter your information right here by February 4th or February 5th on that deadline in order to see if you get anything back. In other words, this is like totally free money that you didn't even know that you had. And the reality is, it doesn't even have to be that much. We have blurred out the names and the businesses of the people that we've actually helped get some cash back. However, for example, this person between the years of 2004 to 2019 did about $11,700 in gross credit card volume or business with Visa and MasterCard and got $186 back. Not bad. This person did $2.67 million in business and is getting $39,000 back. This person did $64 million in business during those years and is getting a whopping $1.1 million back. We have another person getting $2,400 back, $57,000 back, $64,000 back, $8,400 back, and you name it. The list goes on. So yes, these are very real businesses. All they had to do was enter their information to see if they qualify, and this team or white glove service of lawyers do their best to get the most money back for you on the Visa MasterCard settlement. So go ahead and click the link below to fill out your information here and see if you're going to get anything back from Visa and MasterCard. Now, before I move on to all of the news surrounding a bit of market manipulation and what's coming next, I do believe that this is no easy job. However, it is very much necessary if we're going to have a successful Trump administration, as Trump has even fired over 1,000 Biden appointees on day one. And over on Truth Social, he admitted that among the 1,000, there was 4 specific individuals who he was going to be getting rid of. Jose Andres from the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, Mark Milley from the National Infrastructure Advisory Council, who is also a general, Brian Hook from the Wilson Center for Scholars, and Keisha Lance Bottoms from the President's Export Council. You're all fired. He's cleaning up house in Washington and making way for a new administration to really change and shake things up over in Washington, which will not only be positive for the American people, but very much positive for the entire crypto market. So why did markets see so much freaking volatility like this yesterday? I believe this is true market manipulation. And even in being crypto, they asked the question, is Bitcoin's drop due to a subtle market manipulation? And so I do believe, seeing that type of price action, we have some market manipulation on our hands, considering even BlackRock has shared a report as recently as January 13th of this year that crypto has outpaced the growth of mobile phones and the internet. In other words, the very first mobile phone or cell phone was used in 1973, and then cell phones achieved 300 million users in 21 years. The internet was born in 83 and reached 300 million users in about 15 years. You see that 6-year differential. Now, Bitcoin, set up in 2009, which is really not that long ago when you think about the grand scheme of history, the crypto industry has racked up 300 million users worldwide in just 12 short years. So this rate of adoption is something that companies and players like BlackRock and institutions see. And because when they see really strong trends, they want to double down on that trend. When they see someone like Trump coming in and making the US the most pro-crypto nation and positive environment for crypto innovation, you're going to have some players that are going to want to take your crypto from you. As already we have 33 crypto ETFs and futures now currently being filed with the SEC. And this even includes Trump, XRP, Solana, Ethereum, HBAR, and you name it. And here are all of the issuers, from VanEck to 21 Shares to Bitwise to Wisdom Tree to CoinShares to Osprey, and the list goes on. Now here's the reality. A lot of these players are very big. We have Grayscale, we have Franklin Templeton, but at the end of the day, when we get the news of a BlackRock filing for a spot ETF, it's likely going to be for XRP and Solana, and both of those cryptos are going to moon on the news. And the reason I believe this is going to happen sooner rather than later is because the head of digital assets over at BlackRock now expects tons of pro-crypto regulation to happen this year under the Trump administration. So let's watch what he shares on Bloomberg Crypto.
You know, it's interesting. When people think about BlackRock, the first thing you think about is ETFs. But the second thing I think about is the work that they do with governments around the world. So from where you sit, what does that conversation about a strategic Bitcoin reserve look like at a place like BlackRock? What do you think about it? What do your peers think about it?
What we're interested in from a policy perspective is, I think, the exciting proposition of bringing some clarity and frameworks to this space that in some sense have not existed, particularly helping the banks to be able to be service providers in this space, to act as prime brokers, to act as custodians in this space, which we think is great for the long-term institutionalization and maturity of this market.
What changes in the landscape would make your life much easier? Like, what would you want to push for?
Well, I think that's the biggest one. Is we have our bank service providers in the traditional world play a massive role. We have Coinbase as our custodian, who we have a tremendous relationship with, and who are great, and they'll continue to be that for IBIT. But as you think about a growing and maturing digital assets ecosystem, we want there to be lots of Coinbase quality institutional grade providers in this space, and banks haven't been able to do that to date. Mm-hmm. And we think it'd be great, if they're able to, to have that.
Even
license.
Beyond bank regulation, inauguration is under a week away. When you think about President Trump's first 100 days, what would be the one thing he says for your industry that you're looking out for?
The other piece that's really interesting is stablecoins. And stablecoin legislation is something that's had bipartisan support, but didn't quite get over the line in the last Congress. I think very clearly there'll be momentum and support behind that, hopefully on a bipartisan basis. to get stablecoin legislation done. And I think that's a big unlock for the industry as well, because these are vehicles of tremendous power in terms of the innovation and financial efficiency and access that they can bring.
In other words, they are confident, even over at BlackRock, that we are going to have a new set of rules and standards over in Washington surrounding crypto and allowing banks at every level to custodian crypto, which means the average Joe Schmo can now purchase and hold crypto directly through a bank. And so this is going to provide a lot of access from a global scale to crypto, and more specifically in the largest economy in the world, the United States, which should ultimately pump our bags. And I believe that's why we saw so much volatility just yesterday on the inauguration, because they know what comes next and they wanted people to be liquidated, to get a little bit afraid and to sell their crypto at a discount. Now, I have some exciting stuff to share with you before we end this video. However, I do believe the bull run is still very much on, and I did the homework into the last 3 presidential inaugurations. This one in 2013 with Obama, this one in 2017, January 20th with Trump, then January 20th, 2021 under Biden, and we see the open and close price on Bitcoin at the time in the very first election or inauguration, I should say. And the reason this was on the 21st is because it landed on a Sunday, so they pushed it into Monday. But you can see on that day, Bitcoin gained 7%. On the next inauguration, Trump's inauguration, Bitcoin was down not even 1. And then Biden's inauguration, Bitcoin was down about 1.13%. Now, this is not really the exciting news. I'm just showing you what happened in terms of percentage gains or losses on either of those days. In other words, in the inauguration, 2 times, crypto, or better yet, Bitcoin, didn't really do anything or move. And in the very first one, when we're looking at a $15 to $16 price, we did see a 7% gain, but this was literally only about $1 difference. We had bigger differences right here in terms of price. However, what's really exciting is then I went ahead and looked at the April 20th date. In other words, 3 months after each inauguration. We looked at those open prices and the close prices. Again, this is 3 months after the inauguration, each and every single time by April 20th. And as you can see here, this is what's truly exciting. Percentage gains on that very first 3-month period after the inauguration in 2013, we saw a 706% gain on Bitcoin. Now, we're likely not going to see this type of a gain again, considering, the open price was $15. The close price after 3 months time was $126. That is a 700% gain. What is truly exciting and interesting, however, is the next period of time. In 2017, we saw a 37% gain. In other words, we saw about 12% per month in terms of gains, which is quite tremendous considering when you look at TradFi markets or traditional finance. Then in 2021, Bitcoin gained about 57% in the next 3 months after the inauguration. Now, here's what's really interesting. I believe we're going to see even more than 60% gains 3 months later or after the inauguration, which means I believe we are still very much in a bull market, but we are probably in the most bullish of bull markets with pro-crypto regulation and a friendly environment in Washington under Trump. So with that said, I am still holding my crypto bag. I have not sold. Things are looking really good. And the data even show us that 3 months from now, things are going to be looking better on Bitcoin, on XRP, and virtually every other major US crypto company. That said, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also head on over to bullrunners.com. You can find the link in the description below to check out Altcoin Pro University. We have 1,200 paying members, and I would argue this is bar none the best community in all of crypto to help you reach your crypto goals. We have the best crypto education. We have hundreds of hours of courses. We have professionals that are sharing altcoin picks with you that we do not share on the channel, that 5x, 10x, 50x, you name it. I can't guarantee you're going to get any results, but if you're committed to becoming a crypto millionaire in 2025, we are going to be your home to help you to achieve or accomplish that goal. You still have to put in the work, right? You still have to have enough capital successful in the game. But I believe this is the best place for you to be in terms of tools, training, and resources. And you better hurry up before you miss those bonuses, because we only offer them to the first 1,000 annual members. So if you want to learn more, here's a 26-minute video. You can no longer make that live event if you're signing up now because the tickets are sold out. However, this 26-minute video explains everything you get on the other side and then some. So be sure to go to bullrunners.com. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Thanks so much for watching the video, my friend. Goodbye.